Hello, Epic 7 newbies. This is Suspect Amy, and I'm here to do a quick video going through how a lazy girl like me upgrades my gear. For some context, please see my previous video, where I determine what gear I want to save for upgrading. Okay, so here's what my gear looks like right now. This is sorted by gear score, and you can see I have a specific threshold in mind. None of my left side gear is below 79. For my right side gear, I go as low as 78. Everything below this I sold off. Gear space is pretty limited, and it's such a pain moving gear in and out of storage, so just be brutal and get rid of your junk gear. I've been playing for a couple of years, so if you're new, maybe you can do 77 and 76, but I don't know if I would go much below that. Now that you know what my threshold for acceptable gear is, let's dive into the upgrading process. I usually upgrade my gear once per month after I finish the Automaton Tower, an expedition since both of these give you some decent upgrading resources. Now I'm good to go. Okay, first things first, I took all of my non-upgraded gear out of my storage. There's a couple exceptions here. I don't use Revenge or Protection Set, so don't waste my charms on them and return these pieces to storage. Next up, I try to use any of my equipment reset charms so I can re-roll any gear that rolled poorly. I start with charms and just look for a set, percent main stat, and subs that I think I can use. This is probably one of the only times that I try to dig into what the substats are on my gear. The rest of the time, I don't care so much. Next, it's boot making time, so I create a ton of speed things here for equipment conversion, and then go about making boots. I can make 22 speed boots. And honestly, I don't care about the set much. I just use whatever I have the most of. Again, the only thing I look at is gear score. Anything 30 and higher is an instant lock. If it's 28 or 29, I look at the subs and make sure it only has like max 1 flat. This is 25, trash. $29 and it only has 1 flat stat, I'll lock this. $25, trash. $28, all percent substats, I'll lock this. $27, trash. See how easy it is when you don't care about substats? This goes by super fast. I keep going until all of my speed boots are done. Before I extract my boots, I try to see how big my stash of speed boots is. If it's not very many, then I allow myself to roll the dice on a few gear score 27s. I extract everything that's not locked. Now I turn on my equipment buff so my upgrade resources work 10% better. You can get this by buying one of the charm packs, which I do every month. I always level boots first. This is because I never sell boots, so I have very few upgrade resources for these. Leveling boots first lets me use up generic charms here. My leveling process is super lazy, I don't care what substat I roll into. Gear score is king. I shoot for at least a 10 gear score on every roll. If I get some bad rolls under 10, then I look at the projected gear score of the piece if the remaining rolls rolled 10. If the projection is under my threshold, I toss it. If it's over, I keep going. Also, I always start with the highest gear score and work my way down. That way, if I run out of charms, it isn't due to leveling up weaker pieces. This base gear score is 41 and it's an 88 piece, so this one is pretty much a no-brainer. Even if it rolled horribly on every roll, it will still be a keepable piece. But let's walk through the process anyways. First roll is an 11 gear score. That's over 10, so let's keep going. So my next gear score, I should have at least 20 down here, and it's 23, so the rolls are going well. Next, I want at least 30 down here, and I roll a 33. So far, rolls are good. Remember, I don't care at all what stats I'm rolling into, I just want high gear score. Next roll, I'm hoping for a 40 down here, and it's 44. Rolls just keep getting better. And the final roll, usually this one is more than 10, and we have a 101 gear score piece. This is fantastic. If you reforge something and it ends up over 100, you have a very good piece of gear. Let me show you some bad examples. I'm going to roll on a few of these lower score pieces. First roll is an 8. This isn't good. Remember, we're trying to get at least 10 out of every roll. Okay, I'm just gonna roll one more time here just for science. And this is another 8. So I'm 2 rolls in, I should be at 20 down here, but I'm at 16. So there's 3 rolls left, so let's just say that's 30 more potential gear score. If I add this up, we are looking at a projected 73 gear score piece of equipment. This is terrible and way below my threshold of 78 for boots. So this piece is trash. Let's do another one. Nice, we got an 11 on this roll. That's fantastic, and it's above the 10 we're looking for, so let's keep going. Now we want the added score at the bottom to be 20 here. 23! This is another awesome roll. Let's keep going, we just need it to remain above 30 for this to be a decent piece. 31. It's still over 30 for 3 rolls, so this is a usable piece so far. Now we need it to stay 40 or higher on this 4th roll. 44 is very good. I'm super happy with this piece. I haven't looked at what substats are being rolled, I don't even care about the set. Nothing matters but getting a high gear score. That's the lazy girl way. Okay, let's finish off this piece. As long as it's over 50, we're in good shape, and that's pretty much guaranteed at this stage. 53. And here we have a final gear score of 80, which is perfectly usable. You want to know, when do I decide to reforge gear? Anything that scores 85 or higher automatically gets reforged. I also reforge something if I get like 4 rolls into the same substat. Gear that rolls into only 1 or 2 substats is always better than gear that rolls into all substats evenly. Let's keep going. I'll go back to the high score gear and just get into upgrade mode. You can see with this system, it's easy to just not overthink things and just upgrade, trash, upgrade, keep, and be done in, like, 20 minutes. Now I want to find an example of high gear score pieces that roll badly and how to handle these. Okay, here we go. Gear score 33, and our first roll got a 7. This is way below the 10 that we're looking for. However, before we throw away this piece, let's project what this gear score will be when we finish. Currently, the equipment score is 40. If we want to see how many rolls we have left, we click on Auto Select here, and we can see there's 4 more rolls left. Now we project 10 gear score per roll, so if we add it all up, the current projection for this piece is a final gear score of 80. That's still a great piece, so let's keep going. Okay, that roll was also below the 10 we wanted. It was a 9. Our projected gear score went down to 79, which makes this still above my threshold of 78, so let's keep going. Wow, this piece just died. We got another 7 gear score on that roll, way below the 10 we want. The projected gear score of this piece is now 76, which is below the 78 we're allowed to keep. This piece needs to be trashed. This really sucks too because it started as a 33 gear score piece, which is really high. But rules are rules, and this gets junked. Okay, here's another 33 piece. Let's try a roll. 9, not bad. Not the 10 that we want, but not terrible. Let's keep going. Nice, so that roll was a 10, so it was good. Let's see if we can get a 30 down here. Ouch. So that roll was an 8. We should be at 30 at this stage, but we're at 27. It's time to look at projections and see if this piece is worth upgrading further. The gear score is 60. It has 2 rolls left, at 10 each, so the projection is currently an 80 gear score piece, which is above our 78 threshold. So let's continue. Hopefully we see a number down here closer to 40. 37? Okay, that was a 10 gear score roll, which is good. At least it didn't get worse. Let's finish this off. 81 gear score, a perfectly usable piece. Let me fast forward into a different gear slot. Okay, boots are done. Now let me upgrade the gear I speed checked and saved in my previous videos. Here's a sword that had 3 rolls into speed. It has potential, let's see. Ouch. Not only did this not get speed, it landed in a flat stat. Flat stats are the worst landing spots for rolls. Since I missed speed, I need to think about if this is worth charms to gamble on more speed. I have 1 roll left, so the projected gear score on this is 68, which is terrible. Also, if I do hit 4 speed with that one roll, which has like a 10% chance, then after reforging this may be a 19 speed piece at best, which isn't even that great. Honestly, doing this final roll is so resource intensive, it's just not worth the risk here. I'm trashing this piece. Here's a 42 score weapon. Like I said, there's basically 0 chance that this will not be a usable piece, so I just max roll right away. 101 gear score. Excellent piece. Okay, let me go through a reforging example. Here's a 34 gear score sword. First roll is 10. Good. Second roll is 11. Good. Third roll is another 10. Awesome so far. Fourth roll is another 11. So after 4 rolls, we want to see an added gear score of 40, and we're already at 42, so this is rolling very well so far. Let's finish it off. 87 gear score. And like I said, anything 85 and higher, I automatically reforge to see if I can get it over 100. And there you have it, a 100 gear score piece, which is the cream of the crop. Okay, let's do one final piece to summarize all of my upgrading rules, and I'll end the video. If anyone wants to see my full 30-minute upgrading session, let me know in the comments. I'll just post the raw video, but I assume that's just boring. So this is a gear score 28 ring. Let's start with the first roll. 10. Perfect. Okay, next roll. Can I see 20 down here? 20. Beautiful. This is rolling exactly how we want it to. Can I see 30? 31. Even better. Great rolls so far. Let's see 40. Oh wow, 38? That means we rolled a 7, which is one of the worst rolls we can get. I think we just tanked this piece. Let's calculate projection. I have 1 roll left, so that's 10. Add it to the current score of 66, and this is projected to be a 76 gear score piece. My threshold for rings is 78, so this guy is just not gonna cut it. Time for the trash. Anyways, this sums up how I upgrade my gear. I know I'm going to get flamed in the comments for not caring about substats. Someone's going to say, you just reforged a high effect resistance piece for crit damage, what a noob. And to that, I say I don't really care. Let me show you how much gear I have left over in this session, after running out of charms. There's a ton here. I needed a system that has very little waste when it comes to upgrade resources. I have to bail on pieces as soon as there's a chance they aren't useful. If I'm rolling on lower score pieces or praying to hit specific substats, that's wasting resources. In this system, sure, sometimes I'll end up with a goofy piece, but it is a very good goofy piece, and I can always use it on someone with a broken set. Not to mention gear upgrading sessions turn into lazy, quick 20-minute events, not like the hour-long stints I did in the past where I analyzed every piece and gave myself headaches. Here's a look at some of the new gear I got from this session. Not too shabby. That's all I have today. Thanks for watching my video. Bye everyone.